Welcome back. Today, I am very much excited to get back to some bizlychannel. I've been super looking forward to this ever since the first video. We're gonna be watching The Last of Us. I know that I've had a few of these recommended, but I personally really wanted to see this one, so I hope that you are as excited as I am. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing. It really helped me out. I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you. Are you ready? Let's go. Burb!
It's moments like this that make The Last of Us compelling. This quiet respite from the apocalypse. In a game full of so much action and horror, somehow this is the best part. It's not the kind of game I would normally enjoy. I mean, the combat is extremely simple, taking place exclusively around waist-height walls. All the levels are designed like one big hallway. And my biggest thing is that this brand of zombie apocalypse has been done to death, brought back to life, and shot in the head with the Daryl Dixon crossbow. Zombies have become a genre that I actively avoid at this point. And with all that being said, not only do I think The Last of Us is one of the most beautifully crafted, heart-wrenching games I've ever played, but
Look at his fucking shadow. I'm so sorry. I'm already nerding out. He got the shadow in here too? Are you kidding me?
I would put it in my top 5 favorite video games of all time at this point. Very few games have ever made me feel this strong while playing. And while yes, it's set in the tired tropes of zombie media, The Last of Us really isn't about zombies. At first, it's really just about Joel, a Texas man working overtime to put food on the table for his daughter Sarah. He's definitely more the quiet type, and Troy Baker, who plays him, has absolutely nailed the vibe of a slightly distant Texas father. He gets a watch from Sarah for his birthday, and then he carries her up to bed for the night. While The Last of Us at this point is about Joel,
Yo, you know you sleeping good.
while The Last of
If you wake up like this and you've got like the marks on your face, you got like the clothing wrinkles. Oh my God, you know that you've just had like the best sleep ever, man. And honestly, I have slept in like such shit positions that I've like hurt my shoulder or like hurt my knee or something, because like while you're asleep, it's like heaven. But you wake up and you're a pretzel. And it just sucks. Like, it'll be the best sleep of your life, and then you'll have the worst day of your life because you're gonna be so sore.
Us at this point is about Joel. We don't actually get to play as Joel just yet. Instead, we play as his young daughter Sarah, waking up in the middle of the night to something.
Expectation versus reality. That's me waking up, man. You like look in the mirror and you're like, oh yeah, I look so good. I'm having a great day, good hair day, you know? And then you like walk away from the mirror and you're just like, I don't know, man. Oh my God. Also, this reminds me of that movie. What's that movie? Where they like swap bodies? It was like some teenage girl and a guy like swapped bodies. It makes me think of that as well a little bit.
Clearly having gone wrong. Sarah's room is about what you'd expect a little girl's room to look like, but over on the dresser here, you can find a birthday card that she wrote to her dad. She writes, "You're never around, you hate the music I'm into, you practically despise the movies I like, and yet somehow you still manage to be the best dad every year." How do you do that? Now, it may seem like a silly little detail, but it actually does a lot in telling us what the relationship is like between Sarah and Joel. The way that Sarah writes tells us that she's witty and sarcastic, but also very sentimental. She has a lot of love and respect for her father, even if they don't always see eye to eye. And if you know what happens next, then you understand why this is important to establish right now. Beyond Sarah's room, there's a newspaper you can find in the bathroom talking about infected crops coming from South America. This tells us where the infection's coming from and overall just builds tension around it a little more. And in Joel's empty room, there's a news report left on with the reporter clearly in distress. But the biggest clue is right outside the window.
Oh my God.
It is so cool to have something explode on TV and in real life. I think most people disconnect the terrible things they see on the news from their real lives, and a scene like this just fully cuts through that barrier. And without understanding a word the reporter said, it conveys the very real danger. It gives you an idea of what's happening, but also establishes that the story will be far more impactful if you pay attention to the details.
Dude, I said this plenty of time when we watched the first one. I love this so incredibly much. Can you just watch the lighting as like he walks around, especially when he walks in front of the TV.
In real life,
just
I think most people disconnect the terrible
lighting.
things they see on the news from their real lives, and a scene like this just fully cuts through that barrier. And without understanding a word
Look at
the
this.
reporter said, it conveys the very real danger.
Oh
It gives you an
my
idea of what's
God,
happening, but also
dude.
establishes that the story will be far more impactful if you pay attention to the details. Sarah rushes downstairs to find her dad, Joel, looking for his gun.
There you are.
Sarah, are you okay?
Yeah?
Yee!
Jimmy?
Dad?
Jimmy, stay back! Jimmy, I am warning you!
Oh.
You shot him?
There's only so much you can do to comfort a little girl who just watched you shoot the neighbor, but Joel's doing his best. The only real goal right now is to get Sarah into the car with his brother Tommy and get out of the city.
What back?
Joel, even in the beginning of the game here, is a self-serving, pragmatic kind of guy. He only really cares about keeping his family safe. And so when he sees people, say, on the side of the road who need help, he doesn't even think twice about driving past them. Sorry, I can't get the recline on this chair right. And considering how most apocalypse media depicts selflessness as the quickest way to get yourself killed, Joel is pretty much the perfect candidate for a survivor. This infection is spreading fast, clearly affecting pretty much everyone at this point. Joel may have been quick with a gun, but he did make one mistake, and that was driving into the goddamn city.
Oh my God!
It's so cool that we get to experience this right here at the start. We not only see, but also feel the collapse of humanity happen around us. And they really capture how dumb people get in a crisis, just mindlessly following the crowd. Where the fuck do you think we're going? Everyone here is sprinting for safety, pushing each other aside. And Joel was having none of that nonsense. He was ready to run every single one of them over. Double points for Grandma.
Daddy? Hey. Hey!
Get back, baby. Get back.
Okay.
When the car gets flipped is when we first get to play as Joel. Sarah's leg has been broken, so he has to carry her to safety. Tommy gets separated from them, but all Joel really cares about in this moment is protecting Sarah. They find a soldier who could help them, but that soldier
No.
has other orders.
Stop right there! Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians on the outer perimeter. Please advise. Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Ricky, when I find you, Ricky. Ricky, when I find you, Ricky. This obviously is necessary for the story. But if you don't have the decency to lie to your command and say that you did it, and you don't, I don't know.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit.
Ugh.
Please don't. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me, I know this hurts. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on.
No.
No. No. No, no, no. Please. 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 Please don't. Please.
Dude, I cannot handle, like, fathers crying, bro. Ugh. That gets me. Cause, like, my dad didn't cry. You know? It's that kind of big burly man not ever having, like, emotion. And then you see them fucking cry. Oh, God. I know it's necessary for the story, but Jesus Christ.
That is one hell of a way to open the game. You know, we
Yep.
didn't get to see much of Sarah and Joel together, but what we did see was just enough to make it really sting. I mentioned this before, but Joel is voiced by Troy Baker, who has voiced more video game characters than I can count. But it's not
What? He was Snow? Wait, sorry, I'm trying to get back to the frame. Okay, the only one that I really know is Snow. Wait, then I've had the biggest crush on this man's voice. Literally because of Snow. Shit, okay. I see you.
But it's not just voice acting. For the role of Joel, Troy Baker and all of the other actors had to put on these mocap suits and act all of this out. As he was doing this scene, he was physically holding the actress for Sarah, and god damn, he just knocked it out of the park. In interviews, he gives a lot of credit to the game's director, Neil Druckmann, for staying on that scene and doing it again and again, making sure that it was right. They recorded the scene several times back to back, and then weeks later went back to try it again, which must have been extremely hard. But the take that ended up in the game was just perfect. The key thing really is that it's not over dramatic. He's so subtle with his words, which leaves so much room for the emotion to come through. You're not overwhelmed by his words, so you're hanging on to every micro movement, every facial expression. This was the worst moment in Joel's life, the driving force for everything that follows, and I couldn't imagine a better setup for everything to come.
Yeah.
20 years go by before we see Joel again. Surviving this long clearly comes with a cost, and here he is waking up another day to pay it. In the years since the collapse, the only government that persisted was the Federal Disaster Relief Agency, or FEDRA. They established these quarantine zones that were meant to be safe places away from the infected, but ended up being just as much of a nightmare as the fallen cities. In the QZ, soldiers can execute citizens with impunity. Ration cards are the only currency that matters. And the problem is, the only way to get enough to survive is to step outside the law and outside the zone. Joel is a smuggler in one of the last remaining QZs, moving drugs, weapons, or even people in and out of the zone. Whatever happened to Joel in the last 20 years brought him all the way from Texas up here to Boston. And the only familiar face around him is his reflection in that broken watch. So he has made some allies, or really just one ally named Tess, a woman just as cold-blooded as himself and his partner in crime. The nature of their relationship isn't definitively said, so it's not clear if they're just really close friends or two little monkeys sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. It's pretty heavily implied, though, that they were doing the tube snake boogie together. I might be thinking a little too deep into this, but like specifically through their body language and their lack of a touch barrier. And that's such a cool decision too, letting body language tell the story in a video game. Like if you don't pick up on it, there's really no harm. It's not gonna change the story much at all.
Yeah.
But it's like I said before, paying attention to the details makes the story hit so much harder. Anyway, Tess and Joel have become pretty well known in the QZ for their violent ways and overall job effectiveness. So it seems like some guy they had to deal with named Robert did not get the memo. Anyway,
Bob. Fucking Robert over here. This fucking dude.
back on their deal, then tried to get Tess killed. So now we're heading to find Robert and install a new forehead window. If there's one thing this game has over every other video game apocalypse, it's the environment design. And very focused world building. Instead of some big, long exposition scene about how terrible the world has become, they just show us what the world has become and the people that it's created. Ration lines with people waiting before it opens, military checkpoints with no shortage of soldiers. And once you approach the checkpoint, an attack by a rebel group called the Fireflies.
Get out of here, Joel! Close it up! Fireflies!
Firefly's ultimate goal is to restore the US government, but all we actually ever see them do, at least here in the beginning, is just bomb shit. Now, the one thing I don't understand is, why is everything still so goddamn dirty? Brother, it has been 20 years. I get that it's zombies around, but...
Kitty! I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is very important. Look at this kitty!
around, but you couldn't pick up a fucking broom in your spare time? These QZs were established right after the outbreak. It's not like they just got here. And here's this guy just sitting on the couch doing fuck all. Bro, you got like a random wood pallet sitting around your house. Bucket's gone rogue. What are we doing?
I don't think a lot of things, if any, have portrayed like apocalypse like settings as like still clean and functional. At least from like anything that I've seen, I can't recall something that looks the same. Everything kind of just has this like abandoned look to them. So like once everything hits the fan, you don't ever care about making it look like normal. I don't know. Fallout has some? Okay, then I just haven't seen it. Because, like, anything that I see, it's just very decrepit. Like, everything's decrepit. It's always been decrepit. All the janitors got infected. Okay.
Get it, you know? The apocalypse needs to look grungy. And if you don't think about it too hard, this does put you in the vibe. It's just not exactly realistic that after 20 years, nobody would have thought to clean up anything. But whoever this guy is, he's clearly got a deal with Joel and Tess to keep this passageway here out of the QZ.
Ooh. I was really expecting him to, like, Peter Griffin death fall. I really thought that he was just gonna face plant on this. Well, she's waiting on you. Oh my god, stop. Oh my... Dude, I'm just a fucking simp. I don't know what to say. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's just so fucking good. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm such a simp. This might have to be my new wallpaper. Dude! I just love it so much. I love it so much, man. Oh my god.
The lighting team did incredible work, and the environment is very realistically weathered. I was watching an interview where this guy talked about how they took note of where moisture buildup would be and added increased moss and vegetation growth in those areas. That's just insane. And I love just going around into the buildings, looking at everything they put in the rooms, like what they imagine the people living here might be doing before the collapse. See, like this apartment we're in has an entertainment room and only one bedroom, which means there was probably one guy living here. And I know that he lived alone because if I had a 2-bedroom apartment and I wanted to put a pool table in the center of one of the bedrooms, my girlfriend would use my head like a cue ball. At one point though, some kids must have lived here because you can see their handprints on the wall and their names painted underneath them. But it's more likely this was a group of Fireflies after the collapse setting up a temporary camp, given the painted symbols on the wall, and the bed strewn across the floor. This is something you can do with pretty much any house you walk into, and later on in the game it does become more elaborate, telling the story through things like notes or even just the home decor. At this early on, it's more just to sell the fantasy than anything. The really interesting thing is down below the apartment, where we unfortunately have to go. The air is full of spores, an airborne seed of the cordyceps fungus that, if inhaled, will cause infection. The first time we're ever prompted to use our gun is when we're given a choice on whether or not to put an infected man out of his misery. Yeah, it's kind of messed up, but if you don't do it, then he just begs you to come back and do it, and it's just messed up either way.
Don't leave me to turn. Please.
In the other room, you begin to hear the sounds of the infected. Their vision has been heavily impaired by the infection, so instead they rely more on their hearing. And with every step, you risk them finding you. Yeah, they're scary, but not as scary as the fact that I have multiple subscriptions I do not keep track of very well. This video is sponsored by Rocket.
This bitch.
So right now I'm saving up to make this huge Skyrim video. It's gonna be this massive production, and it's gonna cost a lot of cheddar cheese, which is why I've been using Rocket Money to help me save as much as humanly possible. Specifically, I've been using Rocket Money's automatic savings to help keep me on track. It analyzes your accounts and determines the best time for you to save. So all I have to do is put in my savings goal and desired frequency.
Aren't these things really good at hearing you and you're just yapping away right behind one? I'm sorry.
Rocket Money does the rest. It also helps me keep my spending in check by managing a lot of my subscriptions that I've forgotten about. I'm pretty bad about forgetting I have a subscription until it's too late. I probably have the financial awareness of one of these guys. But not only does Rocket Money remind me of the subscription, but they have a feature that can often help you cancel the subscription all within the app. Go to rocketmoney.com/Bizly or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock a lot more features with Premium. I've had Premium for a couple years, and it really does help a lot. And thank you, Rocket Money, for sponsoring this video.
Yay!
You get about as much playstyle choice in this one as any other game like it. Stealth or action. Stealth is usually the best bet, as you don't actually have to kill all the enemies in an area to move on. Though I do find it weird that you could just choke out a zombie.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to breathe, right?
Breathe? I mean, I'm sure I've seen the things get blown in half and then keep coming at you, but I just put a little pressure on the windpipe and that thing is done. How you fight against the infected is very different from how you fight against the human enemies. And given that this guy, Robert, hired the goddamn goon squad to protect him, probably gonna be doing both today. Put me in the goon squad.
I'm not going anywhere without Robert.
Bitch, I will bash your skull unless you turn around and get your dumb ass out of here.
Oh.
This.
Take cover!
Human enemies prioritize getting back behind cover and moving around to flank you, which I guess is interesting, but it's just so bare bones that the combat doesn't do anything for me. At least for these first 5 hours before you get any cool weapons or gadgets, it's just not that fun to do. Eventually,
It's given very like Uncharted, hiding behind cover and then like killing everyone. Very, very Uncharted.
we catch up to this Robert guy, and it seems he decided to sell our guns to the Fireflies. Now, before we can do pretty much anything, Tess decides to just wrap this whole thing up. And now, for some reason, the leader of the Fireflies, her name's Marlene, she's pretty cool, but she's just like skulking around the corner. Like, is that not insane for her to just be there? Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is Marlene, she's important. Remember Marlene. She's down to give us our guns back if we smuggle something for the Fireflies. Marlene's been badly injured, so Joel and Tess are really our only options at this point. But what exactly are we smuggling, perchance, you may ask, you may wonder or ponder? Find out in this current cutscene.
Is this the kid? Is this Ellie?
That you're about to watch.
Whoa. Come on now. Get on up.
Away from
Hey!
Yep.
Let her go.
Well, you're recruiting kind of young, aren't you?
There's a crew of Fireflies that'll meet you at the Capitol building.
That's not exactly close.
You're capable. You hand her off, come back, the weapons are yours. Double what Robert sold me.
How do you know them?
I was close with his brother Tommy. Said if I was ever in a jam, I could rely on him.
Was that before or after he left your little militia group?
He left you too. He was a good man.
Look, just take her to the North Tunnel and wait for me there.
Jesus Christ.
Just cargo, Joel.
No more talking. You'll be fine. Now go with him.
Don't take long. And you, stay close.
See, The Last of Us is about Joel, but it's just as much about Ellie. This girl who was orphaned at a young age, plopped into military school, and raised by the only person who cared about her, Marlene. She's only 14, meaning she was born 6 years after the collapse of humanity. And she's never left the QZ before today.
Also, I thought it would be fun to get my friend Milo to play Ellie for this video, so this is my friend Milo. We've been going a little crazy for this video, so if you could subscribe, that would be very helpful. This is only part 1 of 3 parts I'm doing for The Last of Us, so if this part gets 30,000 likes, I'll drop the next one. I'm actually gonna drop the second part whenever it's done, but you should still like the video. It's not clear why, but Marlene wants us to smuggle this girl, Ellie, out of the QZ and over to a group of fireflies at the Capitol building. It's too dangerous to try and leave the quarantine zone during the day, so for now, we're stuck with her while we wait until nightfall.
Ellie mentions she isn't meant to tell anyone why they're smuggling her. Even with how curious she is, it's pretty clear she's been taught or learned from experience not to trust anyone.
Eventually, Tess comes back and verifies that the merchandise the Fireflies are promising is very real and very worth it. So now they just have to do the job.
For a military camp that's whole purpose is to quarantine, keep people from going in and out, it seems extremely easy to go in and out.
They're not very good at this.
I'm actually outside.
Dude, this is so cool.
This moment is the first time Ellie sees the outside world in her entire life. And you can tell just by the look on her face, it's something that she's dreamed about for a very long time. Though that sense of wonder and amazement is short-lived, as a couple of soldiers pretty quickly notice Joel.
What's the ETA?
Couple minutes.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. Look.
Infected.
Jesus Christ. Marlene set us up? Why the hell are we smuggling an infected girl?
I'm not infected.
No? Just lying?
It's 3 weeks old.
No, everyone turns within 2 days, so you stop bullshitting.
It's 3 weeks. I swear.
This is why the Fireflies wanted to smuggle Ellie out of the city, because she's immune to the infection. Joel and Tess are skeptical at first, and Tess even considers shooting her on the spot. But it's hard to deny after seeing that 3-week-old bite. They decide to press on anyway and escape Fedra through the sewers.
Whatever.
I mean, even if they take her, that doesn't affect them getting paid, right? Or do they think that if they find out that she's infected, that they won't pay up? Because like if they're not, am I just confused? Or are they just worried because they're around an infected person? I can't tell.
Happened to me could be the key to finding the vaccine.
Yeah, Joel's clearly not buying that shit, but hey, at least they're gonna be basically rich after this, so and I go along with it. Once we've left the sewers, the path to the Capitol building leads right through the city, or what's left of it at least. I can't get enough of how they depict this fallen city. The crumbling roads and the buildings about to fall over. All of this destruction wasn't caused by the infection either. It was the military that dropped bombs on the city in the hopes of stopping the infection before it spread too far. And that shit did not work at all, but at least
Never
it looked
does.
cool. The only viable path to the Capitol building is through these dilapidated skyscrapers. We can hear the infected in the building, but nothing in the immediate vicinity.
Though as we move deeper, we learn there are different kinds of infect.
The longer a person has been infected, the worse they get. It can evolve into something even more terrifying. Something called a clicker.
Oh, that's so cool! Look at the mask.
See, the infection in this game is based on something called the cordyceps fungus, which is actually a real thing in nature that—
This is the thing that takes over ants, right? And then it just makes them into little zombies.
will zombify ants.
Yes!
Fungus takes over—
Oh, sorry, that was really loud. I'm so sorry. That was really loud. I was just excited. I didn't mean. That was really loud. I'm so sorry for your ears. I just got really excited.
over their body and brain and forces them to move up towards the sunlight where the fungus can grow. At some point in the growth stage, the fungus pops out of the ant's head and spreads itself. When creating this game, they were inspired by a nature documentary talking about exactly this and decided that the idea of fungus evolving into something that could infect humans, even though extremely unlikely, would make for a cool-ass story. They went through a lot of design variations on the infected and the clickers until they landed on this. The clickers would end up having a fungus that grows out of their head, leaving them unable to see. Instead, they use these clicking sounds and their hearing in general to move around. The sounds as well are very terrifying and very intentionally made using the human voice.
It was a little bit of a head scratcher to figure out, okay, how do we make it sound human but not human? Yeah. That's no process.
Yeah, that's just her voice. We also used a little bit of Phil's voice.
Can you guys do that? Can you do that noise? I don't know how other people do it. I assume you have to inhale. But how do you pitch it up? I'm coming for you.
Also with an occasional that's just me, you know, moving my tongue. Just this is a composite of all the bits I just told you about.
Ew.
It's not only cool for world building, but the clickers' designs are some of the most distinct looking monster enemies I've ever seen in a game. When approaching an encounter with a clicker, you have to be extremely cautious because you can't do stealth takedowns on them like you can any of the other enemies unless you've crafted a shiv. And if they do notice you for any reason, they will kill you in one hit.
You know, I think the reason why I love his editing so much is because I'm already a slut for a really good environment, right? And literally all he's doing is inserting him and his storytelling into the environment. Like, it just does something to my brain. It makes me irrationally happy.
Ellie, Joel, and Tess make it to the Capitol building, only when they get inside, it's not at all what they expect.
No. No, no, no. Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. Ooh. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No, that was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look, there's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. Make this easy for me.
I can find.
No, just go!
Tess insists that we leave her behind and make sure Ellie gets to the Fireflies. And considering it's her final request, Joel agrees, reluctantly leaving his partner behind. As we sneak out of the back, we don't see it, but we do hear Tess's final stand. Her screams as she tries to buy us time.
We'll go upstairs. Probably get it from there. Just keep pushing forward.
We escape down into the sewers, and if there was any doubt about Ellie's immunity before, it's pretty quickly shot down, as she has no problem breathing in the spores.
Ooh.
A lot of the platforming...
That's so dramatic.
A lot of the platforming and puzzle solving revolves around you figuring out how to get both Joel and Ellie from point A to point B. At first I thought floating the platforms was kind of lame, but it grew on me over time. The fact that Ellie can't swim and you're constantly grabbing these pallets for her, it's only fun when you actually start to like Ellie's character. Functionally, yeah, you're just kind of floating something across the water, but after a while, you kind of just see it as another way that Joel takes care of Ellie.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that makes it good.
Now there's a town a few miles north of here. There's a fella there that owes me some favors. Good chance he could get us a car.
Okay.
Let's get a move on.
Oh my god. He's such a fucking idiot.
It's cool to see how differently the infection and the fall of humanity affected a small town like this one. Instead of being bombed to hell, it was just taken over by one crazy guy with a bunch of traps. See, the town of Lincoln has a population of 1, and his name is Bill. He's a doom prepper.
Hi, Bill.
And an asshole. And as we're getting swarmed by infected, he shows up to help us to safety. See, Bill was the guy outside of the QZ that would hook up Tess and Joel with their contraband that they would move into it. And it seems like there was a bit of a tab running, as Bill only really helps us due to him owing Joel.
Whatever favors you think I owe you ain't worth that much.
Actually, Bill, they are.
All right, I have a confession to make. I did watch the TV show before I played the game. And so now, having experienced both, I like Bill in the show a lot better. In the show, Bill gets an entire episode to himself. And I'm gonna just give you a quick rundown of what happened. Bill is a doom prepper. He lives in a little town and he put a big electric fence around it there's flamethrowers as well. They're involved. Bill doesn't trust anybody and he's kind of a loner. But then this dude named Frank shows up and he comes inside to Bill's house. Wait, poor choice of words. Bill cooks him a meal. And then he says, I'm gonna cook you one meal, I'm gonna let you get a shower, I'm gonna let you get out, because Bill's house has running water and power and food and stuff. So Bill goes over, no, it's Frank actually. He goes over to a piano in the room because he's about to leave. But then Frank's like, oh no, I gotta play the piano. And he goes to play the piano and he picks out a song. It's like really meaningful to Bill. You can see that in the moment. He starts to play it. Bill gets like upset about it. He's like, stop playing that. And then Bill goes to play it and he plays it beautifully. It's also Nick Offerman. I fucking love that guy. And then kissing happens and they kiss together. Lips. What happens next? Sex for sure happens next. Frank ends up staying there with Bill in the town and it becomes like their town. At some point, Joel and Tess show up, but it's Pedro Pascal Joel. They become friends. And then a little bit later, there's a couple of time jumps involved. Bandits show up and they start shooting and stuff. But remember the flamethrowers. Don't forget the flamethrowers. They all get flame on fire. We cut to the future, the further future than the first time we cut to the future. And Frank is in a wheelchair. He's painting though. He's painting and he's doing stuff. And then Frank's like, today's my last day. And then Bill started crying. Bill started crying big time. And it hurt my feelings. And then frankly, hey, hang on. Frankly, he gets a little bossy about it. He's like, you're gonna do this for me, you're gonna do that for me, you're gonna do this for me. And I'm like, what about Bill? Who's gonna think about Bill? I think about Bill. At the end of the night, they cook a beautiful dinner and they get married, and then Frank goes to drink wine there's pills in it, and Bill drinks wine with pills in it, and then they die. And it's beautiful, and it's heartbreaking, and it's beautiful. In this game, Bill's just an asshole. It's an incredible love story, and one that I relate to. Dude, if there was an apocalypse and some guy fed me a steak dinner with wine, I would be his gay lover too. It's me and him till the end. In the show, they never even get to meet Bill and Frank. But in the game, you get to meet just Bill. And his only role is to be a cynical bastard and show us how to make a nail bomb. It's basically a can with a bunch of nails in it, and also probably some gunpowder. They're basically just this game's version of a grenade, which are pretty useful when the infected start bunching up together, and they're gonna be mega double useful when we're securing the car battery from the school, which is what we're about to go do. Here, Ellie, catch. A lot of this game's gameplay is based around looting and crafting, and the nail bomb is really the first thing you find that's useful. But my other favorite is the metal pipe that you can get, and it starts off pretty strong already, but you can augment it to have scissors on the end, which makes it like an insta-kill, and it gives it an extra bar of durability.
That does not look user-friendly. Stay away from this. Leave this to the professionals. Oh my God.
Also, it just looks insane. Oh, watch out. You better be careful, I almost got you. Oh. Kind of a loose cannon. You never really know what I'm gonna do. If we make it to the truck, it turns out someone got to this battery before us. So, time to enact Plan B. Get out. I do kind of wish they had expanded the level design just a little bit more. The entire path from Bill's house all the way to the school is just one big long hallway with a field of waist-height walls every now and again. That's one thing that really frustrates me is that you can be walking through the calmest area in the game, but if you see those waist-height walls, you know a combat encounter is coming.
Yeah. Oh no.
This is the final evolution of the infected, called the bloater. It'll take just about every bullet you have, and the only thing that's effective against it, and really all the infected, is fire.
Be that.
Ooh.
They're extremely hard to kill, but thankfully, when you finally do, the loot is worth it. 6 bullets.
Nice.
I used more than that to kill a fucking straggler. We dip into a nearby house where Joel and Bill argue about what to do next when something catches Bill off guard.
Furthermore, tell Tess that she can take this job.
Don't you bring Tess into this.
Shove it right up
nothing to do with...
Jesus.
Oh God.
What, you know this guy or something?
Frank.
Who the hell's Frank?
He was my partner. He's the only idiot that would wear a shirt like that. He's got bites. Here. And
No.
I reckon he didn't want to turn, so he...
Yeah, I guess not.
Frank in the show made a decision to go out on his own terms, and Frank in the game did the same thing, but for a completely different reason. It's not clearly stated, but it's heavily implied that Bill and Frank had a romantic relationship here in the game too. But this story wasn't beautiful. Frank's voice is relegated to a single note. In it, he says, "I hated your guts. I grew tired of your shitty set-in-your-ways attitude. I guess you were right that trying to leave this town would kill me, but it's still better than spending another day with you." Frank intended on leaving. He's the one who got to the battery first and had a truck all ready to go. But in the process, he got bit and took fate into his own hand. The way I see what happened here with Bill and what happened with Tess is one huge lesson for Joel, that even if you pretend you don't care about the people around you, that doesn't make losing them any easier. Joel lives by this idea that denying yourself love protects you from loss, but that's just not true. You can see that in him after Tess dies, and even clearer reflected onto Bill. It's not something the game is overtly trying to say either. They just give you these moments, let you feel them, and interpret them however you will. That subtlety in the storytelling is extremely hard to pull off, which is what makes this so impressive. It really is the way they handled the story with Bill in both the TV show and the game that highlights their respective strengths. Even though Bill didn't actually do anything for us here, except almost get us killed, somehow we still ended up with a truck.
Look what I found. It's got some juice in it.
There it is.
That's my battery. battery's drained, but cells are alive.
What are you thinking?
Thinking you drive and we push.
So basically, we have to push the truck and get it going fast enough so that Ellie can pop start it. It's something you can do with a manual transmission where you push all the way down the clutch, all the way down on the gas, and once you get rolling, you pop it into first, dump the clutch, and it just takes off like a rocket ship. I know this because my first car was an old Ford Focus with a bad starter. For like a year, I drove this thing around, and that is how I started it every single time. I'd always like park up on a hill and then just let it go and blast off. The worst part of it was I took my driver's test with an automatic and didn't know how to drive a manual, so I was constantly stalling, pushing it, starting it up again, and stalling and pushing it. And it's only mildly related. It just reminded me of that. Ellie, learning to drive for the first time, gets the truck going, and we bring Bill back to his home before going our separate ways. Joel goes to say something to Bill, but just can't help being a Southern father about it.
Oh no.
Got your buddy back there.
Oh no.
That's a tough deal.
We square.
We're square.
Cannot show emotion, man. Cannot show emotion. You can't be like, are you okay? Like, I know you're going through it. I'm so sorry for your loss. Can't do that. That's too much. You're doing too much there, okay? You gotta tell him to, like, I don't know, rub some dirt in it or something, okay?
Get the fuck out of my town.
With the car, we're going to a place called Jackson, where Joel's brother Tommy is based. And while their relationship is a little rocky right now, it's really their only chance of getting Ellie to the firefights.
Dude, they got some old music in here.
When my life on this earth is o'er,
Oh my god. Whoa, that teleport, Jesus.
to that land on
Yay!
God's celestial shore.
Clappy! Clappy, 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 clappy. Oh, dude, I loved that. Frick it for making me cry, but still loved that. Okay, all right. I like this. I'm gonna keep saying the same stuff over and over, but the style of these videos tickles something in my brain, and it is just incredible. I love it so, 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 so incredibly much. Also, him having a friend in there too was a lot of fun. I really liked it. Please make sure you go check out the original video. It's gonna be linked down below. If you like my video, make sure you like and subscribe so I can see you in the next one. Thank you.